Hi Taurus, welcome to your October 2019 Astrology 33 bonus love reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And just to let you guys know, I will be resuming personal readings in October too, so if you're interested in that, just check out the description of the video for all the information on that. Alright, and as for the spread we have in front of us, this is what I call a bridging the gap spread, and the way it works is the cards on the left side represent your energy toward the connection with your main love interest. Cards on the right side represent their energy toward the connection. These are the past energies, present energies, future energies. Then once we get through those, we'll actually pull some oracle cards for some additional insight. That's where the bridging the gap dynamic comes into play. And as for the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, on the right side we have the Tarot of Sexual Magic. Alright, so with that out of the way, I'm already seeing a few different dynamics play out here, so I'll try to keep it as organized as possible. But I will say, just looking at this spread, I'm getting like a heavy Mercury retrograde vibe with this, and I know it's going to be going retrograde in your opposite sign at the end of October, so that doesn't surprise me. But just to let you guys know, you might start to feel that a little bit early with the shadow period and all the activity going on in your opposite sign. Alright, but yeah. Starting with the past energy on your side, we have Desire, which is the equivalent of the Chariot card in the regular tarot deck, and the Ten of Arrows. So, can't get much more opposite energies than these two cards. So this is interesting, and this is where a few different dynamics come into play in my mind. So one way this could be playing out for some of you could just be saying in the past, the person that you're interested in had to move away from you. That's one way it could play out, because the Chariot does sometimes involve travel. Usually it's pretty long distance too. It's not, like, oh, I'm going to move a couple hours away, I'll see you every weekend. It's usually more across the country, maybe even to another country altogether. And that could have caused the ending between the two of you. As far as a timeline as well, I'm feeling like the time of Cancer could have been very important for you guys, whether it be, let's say, maybe the eclipse, for example, that happened in the sign of Cancer, which was around July 3rd, I believe, somewhere in the 4th of July weekend area. And maybe that was when you guys had this ending with them, especially because I think Uranus and Mars were squaring each other around that time too. So, that's what I'm really feeling drawn to, that early July time frame, maybe even late June for some of you. So yeah, there could have been an ending back then. And that's just for some of you. Another way that this could be playing out as well could just be saying that, you really had desire for this person, but you might not have expressed it to them for whatever reason. And then, that could be where the Ten of Arrows comes into play, where it's like, you keep thinking about them, and then you get caught in a circular pattern where you're thinking about how much you're into them, you're really into them, but then yet you don't communicate it. And then a third way that this could be playing out could also be saying that some of you might have expressed to someone that you really were into them. Like, you might have really put yourself out there, and then you might have felt like you were rejected in the process. So, I know it's a lot to get to, but we'll try to follow those storylines as we go through and make some sense of them. But that's what was coming to me with those two cards. Like I said, there's such drastically different energies that's what brought a lot of different scenarios to my mind there. So hopefully you guys are still with me. Past energy on their side, we have the Knave of Swords. So this is the equivalent to the Page of Swords. So what I always say with page energies is I view them as that one foot in, one foot out. Usually they're authentic people. There's usually not deceit involved with them, but usually it's a lack of confidence, or decisiveness. So what could be going on here, especially if you look at this artwork? And like I said, for some of you, for example, if you really might have put yourselves out there, right? Like here we could say, you could see that plays out in the artwork there. Maybe they just didn't know how to respond to it, so maybe it like ended up contributing to the problem where they, you might have really put yourself out there, let them know how you felt, and they might not have known how to respond to it. So, that could have put you in that Ten of Swords energy, right? Where you felt like it, it really hurt because you felt like rejected, but, it might have just been that they really didn't know how to respond at the time. Another way this could be playing out too could be saying that you both have desire for each other, but neither of you was coming forward with it. That's another way I could see this playing out as well, which is, like I said, with that Page of Swords energy, they might have been unsure themselves. you might have been unsure of yourself for whatever reason, even though the desire was there. You might have just not felt comfortable communicating to this person to let them know how you felt. So this is what could have been at play in the past. And then, for others' view, if this is someone who did move away, this could have been them trying to maintain the connection from wherever they moved to, but you might have felt like it was a bit half-hearted. So you might have felt like, things were coming to an end in that regard, because it's like, okay, it's not really the same, right? All right. The present energy on your side, we have power. So this is actually the equivalent of the Emperor card in regular tarot, and that's an Aries energy. So this could be playing out a few different ways too. One could be saying that, because for those of you who did put yourself out there and you felt rejected, this could just be you now coming off really closed off, and a bit controlling, kind of like one of those things where having that attitude of, okay, well, if anything's going to happen between us now, it's all the balls in their court, like I'm not going to do anything. They have to come to me now and, do things my way, basically, so a bit of a controlling type dynamic there. But, sometimes that could happen when you feel wounded, right? Like, you're like, all right, well, I'm not going to open myself up that way again, only to let this happen, right? So if you think about the Emperor, they have the armor and everything. So that could be how the energy is playing out for some of you. For others of you, this can just be saying too, because for you guys, Aries is your 12th house, and you guys are going to have a full moon there as well. So can just be saying that, you might have a little bit difficulty trusting this person now, right? Because if you were open and vulnerable with them, and then, you might not have gotten the response that you were expecting. Now that can have you a bit closed off, like, okay, I don't really know how to, if I should let this person in or not, right? So you could be giving them that really kind of closed off front. Like, okay, I'm not going to let this person back in like that, right? What's interesting is on their side in the present, though, we have the Four of Pentacles. So, in a way, it's a similar energy where, it's a Capricorn energy for one. So, maybe you guys are dealing with a Capricorn. But on top of that, too, what stands out to me even more is the Four of Pentacles energy is a bit closed off as well, where, they're a bit indecisive themselves, trying to decide, do I want to put an effort here? Do I not want to put an effort? So it's kind of, you could almost see it in the artwork, right? If we look at the male energy there, it's like, and even her, like, she's just laying back, like, whatever, right? And then he's like, okay. He doesn't look like he's too decisive himself, so that could be what's going on there. So you guys could be in a bit of a standoff in the present. And to me, I feel these energies for the two of you, regardless of what happened in the past. So if it was, like I said, maybe both of you had feelings, but neither of you communicated those feelings, right? Like maybe you were too nervous to tell them. They might have been too nervous to tell you. And now you guys are both a bit closed off because you're like, okay, kind of like at an impasse right now. And then for others of you, even if there was some kind of rejection in the past, that could still be how they're coming across. And let's say, for example, you really expose yourself to them and let them know how you were feeling, and then they might not have known how to respond at the time, and maybe they knew that really hurt you, and they see you in this energy, so now they're like trying to test the waters a little bit, like, okay, how can I come back in here? So that could be what's playing out between the two of you. And then in the future energy on your side, we have the Two of Coins. So this is the Two of Pentacles energy. It's another Capricorn energy as well. So this could definitely represent for some of you that someone did move away, whether it was you or them who had to move some distance away from each other, because for you guys, Capricorn is your 9th house. It's a lot of karmic transits going through that sign right now too. And what stands out to me with this particular Two of Pentacles is if you look at the two hearts in the coins, right? The one looks like it's red, and then the other one looks like it's white. So whenever I see that, when you think about Two of Pentacles energy in general being a bit indecisive, here in particular, I always think hot and cold, so now this could be you. Now you're a bit indecisive about how you feel about them, where you're like, okay, well, and maybe it's just an on-off, on-again, off-again connection too, where because maybe you guys do live at a distance from each other, so maybe you guys might come together and then, they have to leave or you have to leave. So it could be saying that that's what's going on there too. So there's a lot of inconsistency in the connection. And, I will say, it looks like there's going to be some kind of movement between the two of you. Like I said, right now I'm feeling like neither of you are very open and communicative with each other. And like I said, that could cause a bit of an impasse there. But that's what I'm saying. I really get like this Mercury retrograde vibe here. And what's interesting too is at the bottom of the deck on your side, we have the Ace of Cups. So what I always say with the Ace energies is usually it's just an idea. So it's not necessarily that you would have presented the idea, but just that it's on your mind. So with an Ace of Cups, as opposed to, let's say, the Page of Cups, the Page energies usually see the person's holding the cup. Whereas here, it's just there, right? And the Rider Waite, it's coming, it looks like a hand coming from the clouds holding the cup. So to me, that represents it's just a thought. It's not actually something physically playing out. So with this at the bottom of the deck, that does make me believe that for a lot of you, it could have just been that you really did have feelings for this person, but you never expressed them. And then the crazy part there is for those of you where that scenario fits, like I said, with the Knave of Swords, they might have been very, shaky about coming forward to you too, even though it does look like the feelings were reciprocated in the past. So, like, and then you go to the present, you guys are both feeling a little bit closed off because maybe there just hasn't been any expression of who felt what and and whatnot. And then beneath the deck, under the Ace of Cups, we actually have the King of Coins too, which is your card. So this is making me think it's a little more likely that for a lot of you, you did have an idea that you did want to communicate your feelings to this person, but maybe you never did. And like I said, it looks like if that's the way it's playing out, they were feeling the same way as you in the past. But what's interesting is in the future position on their side, they have the Knight of Chalices. So this is actually the Knight of Cups, and that's a Pisces energy for one, so maybe there's something there. Maybe it's even saying that this is a friend of yours, because Pisces for you guys, that's your 11th house of friendships. But this can just be saying that now they're coming in to make an offer. And it's interesting to me because for some of you, I felt like I said it might have been you guys who were feeling all in, because that's another way I look at it too. These are cardinal energies, all three of these on your side, which means taking action, initiative, movement. And I'm looking at them, right? And you start with the desire, then you go to power, and then the Two of Coins. So to me, it's almost like you're losing your certainty, right? Like you're a little less sure of yourself regarding the connection as time goes on. Whereas this person's almost the opposite way. Like the Knave of Swords, that could have represented that they were a little bit shaky about how they felt or about communicating those feelings, and now as we see them move to the Knight energy, now it looks like they're the ones coming forward, but then lo and behold, here you are, now you're undecided. So could just be one of those things where you guys just have really a lot of difficulty getting on the same page, because at the bottom of the deck on their side too, we have the Chariot card. So for some of you, this can just be pointing out that yes, whatever this all was could have taken place during the time of Cancer, because we're seeing the Cancer energy playing out in that regard. But this can also represent that if there was movement, that they were the ones who might have moved, right? And then, like I said, that might have been what caused the separation. And now, they come back around, right? And like I said, trying to test the waters, and you're a little closed off now because you're like, all right, I was open and vulnerable with this person, and then they just moved away, right? And now the future energy looks like they're really trying to give you, more loving attention and everything, but now you're a little bit undecided, like, okay, I don't know, if I should get into this or not. So interesting energies there. We'll see if the Oracle cards narrow it down anymore, but all right, so first I'll see if we can get any messages from the Mystic Moon Oracle deck I have here. And for those of you who haven't seen these videos from me before, what I do is I pre-shuffle these before we start recording, and then I'm just going to look for some jumpers here. So first I'll be looking for any unspoken messages from you to them, and then from them to you. So let's see if we get any from you to them first. And then what I do is I'm just looking for jumpers. So if I shuffle for a while and nothing's coming up, I just, take that as a sign. I don't force it, pull one from the top or anything like that. Since it is just a general reading, we'll just move on. got one there and it fell. Alright, so let me see if we get any from them to you before I go pick that card up. Okay, nothing yet, but I'll give it a few more shuffles before we give up. Alright, yeah, nothing coming up there. So I will go grab the one that you guys got from you to them, and we'll see what it says. Give me a second. Okay, we got I'm reminded of you constantly. So yeah, I feel like definitely whether this person moved away, like I said, that definitely could be what was going on, where you guys might have ended up being at a distance from each other for whatever reason. That could be what the Ten of Swords is representing there, right? As you know, the person moved away from you, but they were constantly on your mind, right? That could have been what was going on there. And like I said, with the Emperor energy, I wasn't picking up as much as like of a controlling energy as far as being vindictive. It was more like out of hurt, you know, like you were feeling hurt. So you're like, all right, well, I don't know if I want to open up to this person again, right? So because you might have felt, and then that could even be what that Knight of Chalices energy is saying too, that even when they do try to be more romantic with you with that Knight energy, you still might feel like they're just going to leave again, right? So maybe that's what the Two of Coins energy is about, where now you're like undecided, like, yeah, you know, you might have the feelings, but you might think about, all right, so let's say that this represents how you feel when they're around, right? But then when they're gone, you feel like this. So you're like, is it even worth to feel like this again when eventually, you know, you're going to feel like that again, right? So that could be what's going on there. All right, and lastly, we'll see if we get anything from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck, and then we'll wrap up. Same situation here, I did pre-shuffle this deck too, and then we're just looking for one card here with general messages, and then we'll wrap up. Alright, nothing coming up yet, but I'll shuffle for a bit more. I do like to at least get one card from this deck before we wrap up. But yeah, for most of you, I know we did start with a few different scenarios, but as time started to go on, I feel like that's what it was for most of you. Like this person might have moved away, or at the very least, something took place where you guys split ways, probably around the time of Cancer. Like I said, it could have been around the time of that eclipse energy. And, you know, could just be the Mercury retrograde energy bringing them back around. And now, you know, you might just not feel sure as to whether or not you want to get involved with them again, basically. Even though you might still have those feelings, you know, but you might just like weigh it, like the cost benefit. Like, yeah, I do have those feelings, but I also remember how I felt when they left, you know, and if you feel like they're going to do it again, then, you know, that would be the problem. So, all right. Alright, nothing's coming up yet. I'll give it a few more shuffles, and if not, we'll just grab one randomly from the deck. See if we get some messages there. Alright, yeah, so what we'll do is I'll just pick up the deck a bit and then just take a card from there. So let's see. All right. Let's take this one here. All right. Not for you is the card that you guys got. So let's see what the messages say for that. There's the artwork for it, and the number is 6. So maybe for those of you who are on the fence, right? Like, do I want to open up to this person again? Maybe that's going to serve as confirmation for you that maybe not, but we'll see what it says. All right, it says essential meanings. A clear knowing that something is being denied you. Rejection is God's protection. The oracle's message. There are times when it appears that no matter how deeply you desire something, no matter how hard you work at something, the result you seek always seems to elude you. It's as if you don't really get to be in the game and you feel you're just watching from the sidelines. The appearance of this card indicates that you are not going to attain what you want right now, that, indeed, your dreams for that exact thing will not be fulfilled. This is a time to radically accept that not everything is available to you when you want it. Take heart, for there are benevolent forces who desire the best for you and have a much clearer idea of what is for your highest good. Rejection is God's protection. Something much better that will make you truly happy is on its way. Trust this. So it's interesting how it said here. In particular, what stuck out to me was when it said, no matter how, where'd it go? No matter how deeply you desire something. All right, I want to focus. There we go. It says, no matter how deeply you desire something right there. And that made me think about how, of all things in this particular deck, the Chariot card is called Desire, right? And then we see the Ten of Swords right beneath that. So this can just be saying, could definitely be some symbolism there. But yeah, I definitely feel like, this could just be saying that maybe this won't actually work out, and maybe that's what you guys are feeling in the future, The relationship message says, some relationships carry an innate seed of failure in them that is obvious from the beginning, but red flags escape your observation or you refuse to acknowledge them. When a relationship is not meant to be, it is not possible to make it be. Rejection is a sign that you're being protected by the divine. If you are the one who must reject another, remember that you do so for both your sakes. For every pot there is a lid. This one may not be the best fit. So interesting, and especially if you think about the fact that, like I said, you guys are going to have pretty early on in October, you're going to have Venus and Mercury in your opposite sign, and like I said, eventually Mercury is going to be going retrograde in that sign, so that could definitely bring someone back around from the past, right? And maybe those feelings might get stirred up in you, but maybe this power is you. Like maybe that's a deep knowing within you, right? Like I said, because you might have felt closed off and really not wanting to open up to this person again. Maybe it's just you knowing that, you know what, I don't want to go down this road with them again. And then maybe with that Knight of Chalices, that's saying that maybe that's why. Like that night energy tends to, be in and out, right? So that could be you like realizing that, you know what, I don't really want to go down this path again with this person because they're just going to leave again anyway. So definitely not the sunniest of readings, so unfortunately, hopefully it doesn't resonate for some of you in that regard, but if it did, hopefully this gave you some confirmation. We'll wrap up there, guys, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.